live out here in this lovely country setting, and I went for a quick ride, or what was going to be a quick ride up the street, and what happened is I ran into a kangaroo that jumped over a fence as I came around a corner, a blind corner. You can imagine I've been knocked unconscious. I wake up 2 or 3 hours later in a hospital, transported by an ambulance, run through a CT scanning machine, and got all sorts of pills and painkillers and IV drips in my body, not knowing what sort of extent of recovery process I'm about to go through. In that first day, I was introduced to a claims manager. She handed my partner a folder that had a claims number on it. It had my forms inside there. It had told me without any intervention on my part that my claim had been approved. It also contained a document that showed a preliminary payment of money into my bank account. That all happened in 24 hours.
So we go and see patients that are inpatients on the wards, and we see them to lodge TAC claims. Before, we used to go to the bedside of the patient, and we used to do a paper claims, and we used to email it and scan it and send it off, and we'd have to wait maybe 5 to 7 days to get an approval on the claim. Basically now we still go to the bedside with a little tablet, and we interview the patient by the bedside, and within 15-20 minutes we get an approved TAC number straight away.
I just foresaw months of paperwork and chasing this and ringing people back and having to follow up. In fact, people are ringing me, not me ringing them.
You know, in terms of our time and administrative effort, it's certainly improved it, but to us that's not the major reason. It's more about the patient, because the patient in the past would have no TAC claim number for 5 to 7 days, and usually that's a pretty traumatic time both for the patient and for the patient's family. So now, as soon as they get a claim number, they have access to these TAC support systems, they have access to funds.
The patients, I feel, they're not as anxious, they feel the process is very efficient, and they're not as stressed and worried. I think they can't believe it, and they're like, oh, is this it? Is this all we need, just this number? And we're like, yep, this is all you need, everything's done.
Billing in public hospitals is extremely complex. There are so many different rules and regulations, things that you need to know. Anything that can make our job easier is a good thing for my staff and for the team.
When you go through any, I guess, traumatic experience, it's very unsettling. I mean, I run a business, and there's a lot of balls up in the air as far as, you know, am I going to be back to work in a week or a month? So it raises a lot of question marks as to really what's going to happen here, and just knowing that that's completely taken care of, you know, is just a very, very comfortable feeling, but it gives a lot of confidence, respect for the organisation behind that. And I hate to sound over the top about it, but I was completely overwhelmed at the level of service I received from the TAC. Completely overwhelmed. So well and truly exceeded my expectations.